previously on our Prospector. So we might come back to this. So after last week's prospect, came back to the same watercourse, and on this outside bend I quite like this big crevice that's full of stones, and today we're going to have a go digging some of it out. Starting close to the bank, I'm going to work my way back into the river. So I've just spent 5-10 minutes pulling all the big rocks out and building them up on the edge of that bedrock ridge to set up the sluice. Well, I've got it running. This river surges quite a bit, but it seems to be running well there. Let's scoop some of this into it and see if it shows up. You can see I'm struggling with the rake. I'm not really pulling much material at all. That's because it's so compact, and although it's difficult to get this material out of the crack, it's actually a good thing. You want compacted ground. The ground is really compact. It's been here a long time. Because it's on the outside bend, has anything made it over here. It's special. Clay stuck to the rocks. After last week's prospect, we only found a few specks, but I spied a couple of areas that I'd quite like to check out, and that's what we're doing today. I've come back to this crevice on the outside bend, and it took my fancy last week, and we're getting stuck into it here, and I've definitely found a good one. It's really compact. It's just, is there going to be any gold collecting on it, because it is on the outside bend, which goes against the textbook theory of gold panning. So let's find out. So I dig the material out with a shovel where I can. You get down a lot quicker, but obviously don't get the gold because that falls right to the bottom, which is why you need the hand dredge pump. I've done 3 buckets out of this crevice. Nowhere near the bottom. It's a mix of river stones, decomposing bedrock and clay really. So the amount of clay amongst the stones, I expect some flakes of gold to be trapped. I've just done 3 buckets through the sluice. I'm going to do the first cleanup and see if there's any gold in this hole. So this is the concentrates of three buckets. I'm only going to pan a little bit off and then check it. Making sure the heavies go to the bottom of those ripples, side to side. I see some people doing that. That's ridiculous. Throw your gold out doing that. Side to side to make that gold to the bottom. Front to back to wash out. I'm going to reveal, you should plan it down a bit more, but I'm dying to reveal it. Have I wasted an hour and a half of my time here or not? And there you go. Can you see that, I wonder? So that is from an outside bend. That goes against the theory, doesn't it? I've got a bit of a problem. Can you see the... Now my sluice usually catches in the first 6 inches, but I could see a speck on the fourth one from the bottom, 4th riffle from the bottom, and I'm pretty happy with how the sluice is set up. So I'm thinking it's just because I'm not breaking the clay material down enough, and it's dropped out further on off the clay. So I'm going to clean up now. That's 2 more buckets. That's the next 2 buckets. Twice as much gold as the first one, so there's more as I'm getting closer to the bottom. Nice. And here's my little pile of hard rock for the day. I don't know if you watched my previous videos, but there's no, unless you can move a ton of this, process a ton at a time, you may as well forget it. So I just like to see it though when I'm digging it out. It's a good indicator. I'm getting on fitter. I've done 6 buckets and I've completely had enough. So I'm going to do some reclamation, put these 2 massive quartz boulders back in the hole I've just dug, and I'll come back. And if you fill your holes, no one knows where you've been, and you've got less to dig out if you're coming back to it. So put the biggest rocks you can find in your hole, and you've got an easy time when you come back. So we've had gold from the outside bend. Put in the comments why you think I'm finding gold on the outside bend. There's the inside bend, look, it's bedrock that side. Bit of a waterfall, we're going to have to check that out in the summer with a wetsuit on. And then we've just got clean bedrock slab here, but I think it's just in flood that's coming down there so fast that none of the material can make the bend, and it's all just piling up in this crevice right opposite the straight. So I think that's why I'm finding gold here, and we'll come back here again. I've enjoyed myself this afternoon, but I've worn myself out. It's hard digging into rocks embedded in clay, very hard pack, but it's what you want to find. Thanks for watching. Back of the day. Nice speck.